So I started the podcast in 2019. But I would say I was like really inspired by, I don't know if you guys know Eric Thomas, the BT pop preacher. Yeah, that's my guy. So,
yeah.
And my boy put me onto him like when we was in college, and I was just like, that dude changed my life. So I was just like, man. So like there'd be times like I'd be on Instagram like posting videos of just like motivational speeches and stuff like that, like quick stuff. And then I had a few people hit me up. I was like, man, just start a podcast. My process of like creating it was just because at the time I felt like there was a divide within, Boston and stuff between like artists and creatives and stuff. I feel like there were a lot of people who were like, yeah, there's no support in Boston and all that, which I also believed to be true at the time. But then I was like, okay, instead of me feeding into that and complaining about it, let me do something.
Yeah.
So I went and started the podcast. I was like, I'm gonna get I'm gonna get as many local artists as I can just to kind of chop it up with them and find out what they do and see like, okay, now I know this person. I think you might fit well working with this person or collabing with this person on something. So yeah, I think that was my real motive to really be like, yeah, let me just keep on interviewing people and stuff like that and putting people on to different creatives or stuff like that. But I didn't just want to do music like I did people who do like clothing and like I can't even think right
just
now.
Different areas, different,
like,
and that's what we're trying to do.
Exactly. So that was my main thing, and I was like, okay, that's the goal. I feel like I did that. I think the pandemic kind of slowed me down a little bit because once I hit them, everywhere was like closed. But I still had all my gear, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it happen with or without places.
Yeah.
So I was going to people, setting up, and still doing the podcast.